Okay, so again, this is a vertical page. This is the isometric grid that's going to help you. So when you take a look at each of these little squares, they make a small isometric grid at the beginning. This is the series of drawings that we did prior, and a couple of these will use the same format, just using a little bit of a pen and ink for the shading. So when you take a look at this one, and that being the graphite, and then kind of sliding it in here with some of the pen and ink segment there, and you can see that it has the the lines forming themselves like we talked about with the hatch lines. So when you take a closer look at it, you can see they build up a grid system that's going to the right, so the parallelogram shapes that are made are the exact same shape as the larger piece. So when you take a look at it, it accentuates that part of the drawing. And just to show you all the way through the cylinder, the vertical line comes across, which represents the vertical of the cylinder, and the curved line is making small little shapes that echo the same large shape of this piece. And that works its way all the way around, as the hatch line then becomes, the crosshatch part becomes the same shape as your shading. So it emphasizes the ability for that to take place. And so, on this particular new sketch, I just want you to make this piece, and I'll try to demonstrate this format. And just up at the top, just going to make this rectangle. It's going to be 3 by 2, so the proportion of this is just 3 by 2, and it's following along this left 30-degree angle and going to the right. So it's going 2 across and 3 tall, so the length and the width of this, and it sets it up at a rectangle. So I've placed it up in the corner, and just follow those lines right there. And then right in the middle, you'll see that it's crossing the diagonals already set up right there for you. And you're just going to go up 1, 2, and 3 spaces. It might put you a little bit off the top of the page here, but that's going to be the top of that section, just as a linear pencil sketch. And then the shading for this, just kind of showing you this again, is going to have 3 tones. We're going to have a light side, medium, and a dark. This has the top of it, almost like a tower. So I'm just going to take the straight edge. You have the scale you can use. I'll just use this plastic piece here. See if this works. And I'm just going to outline it lightly to start off with, just using a pen on this textured paper. Right like that. And it's light enough that you can see it. Building that part up. And makes that piece. So here's the point, which is going to travel pretty much perpendicular right from here. So you won't see too big of a change to this one. We're just leaving that point there. It makes that shape. So now it's just a matter of shading this in, and again using any of the pieces that may help you. So here I'm just using a piece of paper, but trying to let the hatch lines go with the form. Just taking a ballpoint pen just to get one side shaded. And the distance or the closeness, farther or closer together, will help with the darkness of it. Building that up, so on this edge. And here I'm just letting the lines get a little further away. And on this line here, just shading it a little bit. Into there. So for starters, that's the kind of the layout. And again, these lines are going with the direction for the 30 degrees to the left, to the right, and kind of accentuating that. Now I'm just going to cross-hatch them. Go in the other direction. I'm kind of going back and forth, and here's where you can just putting a card or a piece of paper down. So I can just draw right over it. There's one technique. Like that. So here I have it again. I'm just going to try it one more time. And depending on which way you draw from the scrap piece of paper or not, you don't necessarily have to have it. Just building that up. And from this edge, again, you're trying to lose the outer line just to blend in that pen texture. You can also use the straight edge to draw right up against it. You can see as you go a little bit further, the value of this getting a little darker. And right at this corner is where it's going to have the most contrast. And again, you can use the paper or just draw right around it. And the texture of the paper lets some of the light seep through.